Hey guys, what's up? I got some good stuff for you today. I was just thinking about it. I woke my son up and I was thinking about how nice it is that he sleeps through the night and in his own bed and stuff now. And I want to share our story about transitioning from co-sleeping to him sleeping in his own room all night. It's amazing. But I'm going to share the journey that we went through to get there because, my friends, it was not an easy one. Preface it all, he used to sleep for 6 months. He slept from birth to 6 months. He slept in a bassinet cradle on the side of our bed. And everything was fine until he got the ear infection. And we literally call it the ear infection because I let him sleep in our bed when he got that ear infection. That was the first time he had ever had like a fever or anything. And I didn't like not knowing if he was like burning up hot or like, I don't know, I was real weird about it. High fever scared me. So I put him in the bed with us. I can see why I did it, like, because I was a paranoid first time mom thing, you know? But at the same time, I'm like, oh, stupid, so stupid. But I did it. And then we had 3 months of co-sleeping. By the time he was 9 months old, I woke up one morning and I looked at my husband and I was like, man, I am over this. He would, even when he was in the bassinet though, he would wake up on a good night 3 or 4 times to nurse. And on a bad night, like almost every hour. It was killing me. Like I was so tired. I was so tired. But I didn't know how to fix it. I didn't know how to stop really. But I knew that something needed to change because my husband and I weren't like, it wasn't our bed anymore, which is an important thing for us. Like our bed is like our little sacred marriage place, you know? And so having our child in the bed was not conducive to our marriage. So we decided it was time. And I decided that our first step would be to wean the night feeds. Wow. Didn't know that was going to be as difficult as it was going to be. And I can definitely make a video on weaning in general because we're at almost 20, he's 21 months right now. And I weaned him at 15 months. It wasn't hard, but there was a lot of things I wish I'd have known beforehand because I attempted like 2 or 3 times before I figured out like how you do it. That's even with reading and all kinds of stuff like that. So anyways, I decided it was time to drop the night feeds. It was well past the amount of, you know, they say, I think it's 6 months they don't need to be nursing anymore at night. They can sleep through the night. Well, we weren't. And it's not normal. It was hindering his sleep. Obviously, I was like a giant noopy or pacifier, whatever you want to call it. And I wasn't sleeping. He wasn't sleeping. Something needed to give. So what I did was I decided I was going to, when he woke up, I was going to give him a sippy cup of water. He hated it. Like he loathed that sippy cup so much. He would just like smack it on my hand. But I wore a sports bra because I know myself. I wore a sports bra so that I couldn't just like, if you're doing this, you know. If you're nursing, you know. I didn't want to just pop the boob in his mouth and him go back to sleep. So I wore a sports bra so that I couldn't just and shut him up. I wore a sports bra. And I gave him the sippy cup, and he did not like it. It took like about a week for him to just decide, you know what, this is not worth it. He'd like take a sip and then he'd be over it, you know. But he was still in the bed with us, so it was a little bit different, you know. He was still waking up. Give him a sippy cup, but he was with me, so he'd still kind of fall back asleep. And he had like a pacifier and stuff. So I finally kind of fully weaned the night feeds after a whole week. Just by continuously giving him the water and not giving in. And I literally had to mentally talk myself through it several times. Like, just don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Because my husband and I agreed through hell or high water, we were gonna do this. So I did it. Weaned him off the night feeds. Woohoo! Next, phase 2, crib phase. By far the hardest phase we've gone through. It was harder than like newborn phase. The sleep deprivation was real. I spent hours on the side of that crib patting his butt. I wanted to do a no cry approach, which I'm laughing at myself now because If you're out there, look, if you are out there and you sleep trained your child without crying, high five to you, and I am freaking jealous because I don't know how you did it. At this point, I don't believe it's possible. But maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like there has to be some amount of crying. Because it's change, and babies hate change, and I was like rocking his sleep world, you know. And he was fighting it, and he didn't want to not sleep with me. So he cried a lot. I cried, he cried, we all cried. There was crying. But I didn't just let him lie there and like scream, and then I'll go check on him and come back. I know that's like a thing. We didn't do that. What I would do was, from day one, we did dark room, sound machine, bath time routine, like give him a bath, put his lotion, jammies, book, bed. The only thing was there was nursing in there, and so I had to take that out. So that kind of threw a little wrench in the plan, and I had also read to try to put them down drowsy. Ha 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 ha. No. As soon as he could feel me like leaning over the crib to put him in, his eyes would just be like, and he'd wake up. So I was like, oh. So I'd have to lay him in there when I thought, you know, hey, you're good and tired. Lay him in there, and he didn't like it. But we'd pat his butt, rub his belly, and I'd do shh, like, you know, and then get him to go to sleep. And then he would fall asleep, and then great, awesome. I searched everywhere for what to do when they wake up again. I couldn't find it anywhere. Like, what do you do when they wake up again? I was like, what? Surely I'm not the only one that's like, hey, now they're less tired and they're screaming. So here's what I did when he woke up again. When he wake up again, I would do the same thing, but I wouldn't take him out of the crib unless he was hysterically crying from like the amount of time that it took for me to get from our bedroom to his room. Unless he was hysterically crying, I'd pick him up and I'd soothe him and then, you know, piss him off by laying him back down. But pat him on his butt, soothe him the same way, make that shh noise until I felt like I was gonna pass out. You know, like shh for hours. I felt like I was in there for hours. And some nights it was like an hour and a half, no joke, like an hour and a half, 2 hours standing in there, patting his butt. And he eventually would fall back asleep. And then each time was like he'd sleep for a little bit longer and stuff. And I think the real issue was that he didn't know how to fall asleep on his own. My fault, completely my fault. But he didn't know, and he had to learn. And it easily took a whole week for that to happen. So phase one, the night weaning, took a week. A whole nother week for him to sleep through the night. Was it worth it? Hell yeah. Like, he sleeps so much better. I sleep so much better. Like, everything is so much better. But it was freaking hard. I see these, some of them are like, oh, 3 days, have your baby in the crib by themselves sleeping through the night. And I'm like, what? What kind of witchcraft are you doing? I get every baby is different. Like, I get it. Mine's tough, and it took a long time. So do know that it's tough sometimes, and it takes a long time. If you're in that struggle bus, girl, I am there, but we got out of it. So there is hope. There is hope. He sleeps great. He sleeps great now, sorry. Naps are great. Everything was always great, by the way. Like, naps were fine. His wake windows were fine. He just wanted to nurse and sleep with us. So we had to break that. And it's not like he had been doing it from birth. We weren't sleeping with him from birth. This was 3 months. 3 months, it like regressed that much. So, but it is possible. It's possible, and we did it. But look, it's gonna take some time, and there will be crying. You're probably gonna cry, but you'll make it through it. And it's so much better now. It's so much better now. Just do it. It's so much better now. I wish, in retrospect, I wish we would have done it sooner when he was younger, because he was like able to stand up in the crib and stuff, and I'd have to lay him back down. That was difficult. It'd been nice if he couldn't stand up and you just, you know, keep him laying down, but I guess, you know, you can't time travel backwards. So for the next child, we'll know, but I wish I would have started it earlier. I think it'd have been easier on him and us. My sister-in-law is trying to do it, and her child is over 1. I think she's 16 months right now. She's having a hard time with it, and I don't recommend waiting that long to, if you're planning on doing this kind of thing. If co-sleeping's your thing, girl, go for it. But if you're planning on, you know, getting your child in their own room and stuff, sooner better than later. It's up to you. Everybody's different. Everybody's baby's different. Your baby might be like, yeah, let's go. Woohoo. Mine was not. Mine was not. So, to each his own, but there is hope. Leave comments below. What happened with you? Somebody might be able to learn from it. Like the video. Subscribe. I plan on posting maybe like 2 videos a week just to, you know, see what happens. And I have a lot of good content coming. I'm a personal trainer and I manage a gym, so I want to talk a lot about weight gain during pregnancy and postpartum and all that kind of stuff. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.